Well, hello there, you guys. I am back. It's echoey. The lighting is going to age me 10 years. There's nothing I can do about it. I mean, I could put a filter over that light. It's like a big chandelier thing. So, hey, Melissa, it's nice to see you. Oh, so this is I'm kind of winging it here in a sense. I'm not really winging it, but on the other hand, I am having a hard time getting all of my everything together. Normally the computer would be up and running at least, and at least the benefit is that I found me on the computer really quick. I'm not sure if my plug can reach my laptop, and no, it is not going to, so I'm gonna have to unplug. So I'm gonna have to make sure, since I'm unplugging my phone, I am gonna have to make sure that I go quick enough that my battery doesn't run down. That's the one problem with not being able to have my phone connected to the computer, is that I don't have, I'm trying to think, maybe, I wonder if it would fit. Yeah, because of the way I'm having to set this up, I can't just plug it in at the back. So I don't know. I'm going to be working on this for a while, I guess, but I don't want to do it now because that's something I can work on later. So it is good to be back. I've missed having you guys on with me. I hope I can see comments on the side. It looks like I can. Unfortunately, my line of vision is such that I can't just, I have it at home, at our old place, I had it set up so I could see the computer really easily, and right now, the way I've got it, I can't. So if I don't see, hi Trudy, if I don't see your comments, it's because I can't see my computer easily. I kind of need to have it like right in line of vision, like here, and it's like way over here. So anyway, I'm just sort of like adjusting everything. It's like I've never done it before. All right, so we are here. We're here in Missouri, Springfield, Missouri. Please share my page because I would love to be able to find some people here in Missouri that would be able to come and do classes with me. Thank you so much for all of your support through all of my move. It's been fun. We've loved living here. It's been wonderful. And we had a fantastic 4th of July, so I hope that you did too. There was some storming going over on the Florida coast. So, yeah, other coastlines obviously too. Probably, got it just as bad. But today I am going to do, I hope I have it here with me. Yes, I do. I'm gonna do Wild Cats. This is a really cute, fun stamp set. I'm having a lot more fun with it than I even expected to. And I am not one of the reasons I wanted to do it wasn't just because the stamp is cute to use. I had some questions about our sponge brushes, and so I thought, well, since I was planning to do the Wild Cats anyway, I'll just do these cards. I wasn't necessarily gonna do these cards, but I will, so that I can show you how the sponging thing works, because I think for most people the only difficulty comes with the kind of paper maybe they're using, and the pressure applied and how much ink, because basically anytime you do, thank you for sharing, Trudy, I appreciate it. Anytime you are trying to sponge a sky or anything that's light colored, you have to go real slow, and speed is the issue. All right, I think I have things cut out. I'm gonna just kind of tell you about our trip here, vacation. I'm calling it a vacation. It wasn't really a vacation coming over in the moving van, but it actually was really pleasant. The last time we moved was it was more than 30 years ago, and we had 3 little kids, 2 of which one was a baby and one was a toddler. We had a very helpful 5.5-year-old, 6-year-old, 6.5-year-old actually. Maybe she was almost 7. And so she was a big help. But anyhow, life is a lot different when you're doing it with kids, isn't it? So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down. I am going to have to spin it. Let's see. It doesn't always like being spun. And so it did survive that pretty well. And then it's also been really difficult for me to get my desk top the way I want it, because I'm kind of off. I've kind of got it off-centered, and I am gonna need to, even though this always interferes with the light, I need to use this glass to do my sponging. So we're gonna try to cover it up with some paper, and we will hope that that gives us the less glare. There we go, that's a little better. You're a little bit at an angle instead of being able to just view it straight down, but I think that might be the best I can do at the moment. All right, I'm gonna work on this because I will be able to, as I do it, I'll be able to get my, maybe get my camera angled just a little bit better. It'll only let me do so much. All right, I think we're gonna have to call it good. You might see my legs a little bit, but you'll have to live with that. Those are just thighs down there. It's nothing exciting. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have nice clean brushes when you're gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna do this card first. And for this one, it was pretty simple to do. When I saw that Stampin' Up! Was doing this To the Moon thing, I was thrilled. Because even though the moon is quite large, and it actually looks, I suppose these are the typical, I'm sure they, looked at the pictures and these are actual moon image spots type. It almost looks continental-ish, doesn't it? You could use it as a world, maybe. It's big. This is making a really large moon, so this is sort of like a cat on the moon. This looks like a lunar type scape rather than earthly to me, in a sense, just because that moon is so big. But anyway, it worked anyhow. I liked it. It has the phases of the moon, and if you're a kid, you love phases because that's something you've learned in school, and you kind of forget as an adult. Generally, I think most of us do forget the moon phases and how, you can kind of tell what week you're in a month just by the way the moon is shaped. There's only one little constellation here, but it's kind of cute, and there are these stars too. So it's just a really good versatile set. So I was excited to see that. And then the other stamp set that I'll be using with this card set is our retired Snowfront. I think Snowfront is retired, isn't it, ladies? This is one of those, again, anytime you have blobish shapes, just buy the stamp set. You will definitely use those blob type shapes. I know they might not look all that exciting at the moment of purchase, but they are. Okay, I'm gonna try to adjust my light again so that you can see everything really good. Gonna have trouble with that because I'm gonna have to reveal my glass top. All right, I guess I don't have to. I could just do it on this paper, and that might be what I have to do. And there we go. That's a little bit better. All right. Just trying to get light where I need it. And I'm having a hard time adjusting my lamp to actually get it where we need it. All right, that just seems kind of dark, so I'm gonna shove everything up a little bit here. And move my lamp a bit. I'm sorry to take time doing this. I should have probably I was shopping. I had to get groceries. Did you have a good 4th of July? I was busy we had a great 4th of July. We actually went to a baseball game. And we had baseball games at home, I know, with fireworks and all, but anyway, we enjoyed it. We actually enjoyed it more here. All right, so we're gonna do the portrait, orientation for this card, and you still are kind of viewing this upside down, but that's kind of the way I have to do these things, isn't it? If I guess I could position this so it's over my shoulder. I'll do that next time. I'll position the camera over on the side and then it'll be over my shoulder and that'll be better. In fact, that's how I had it before. I don't know what I was thinking when I set my camera up when we moved in, because this is upside down for you. But it's too late to stop that now. So we're gonna just forge ahead and use Misty Moonlight is gonna be what we're gonna use for the sky. You do need to mask off where your moon is gonna be. Now I've got my little sticky note already. I stamped it and cut it out. So I've got my moon masked already. So let's go ahead and just stamp that moon. And then I'll put my mask right on it where it needs to go. And it's a pretty big stamp, and you know what? I don't know where my largest acrylic blocks are. I've got this block, which is big enough, but there is a really big one, and I don't know why. I think I thought, well, I'll have my Stamparatus, so let's just not even take it. But that was very foolish because I actually kind of sort of need it. Now I'm gonna use, for the ink, I think let's use gray granite. That sounds very stone-like, right? Gray granite. So we'll just use that. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it full-fledged on. You can see that I've cut the top off, and but this is a little larger than this piece is gonna be anyway. It's all gonna have to be cut down. So after I've done this, we're gonna cut everything down anyway. I guess I can put that one away because we're not gonna use gray granite again on this one. I am gonna use crumb cake for those mountains. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put the mountains into so that I don't color over where they're gonna be. I'm trying to move my things around a bit here. All right, so we have been in Missouri for 1 week, 1 whole week. Maybe it's been 2 whole weeks. It must be 2 whole weeks today. And we're really enjoying it. When we left the Tri-Cities, oh boy, we missed that heat wave. Oh, you guys haven't enjoyed that, I bet. I know I was not sad to see that we escaped it because that was pretty hot. I think you guys had we saw you had up to 116-degree heat. Hi, Andy. Yay, you joined me. Thank you so much for doing that. So I've got snow front here for the mountains, so we're gonna go ahead and do those first. This is, you know, just however you choose. It doesn't need to touch the moon, that's for sure. But even if it did, it really wouldn't matter too much. We're just gonna kind of randomly put the little mountainy ridges in here. Okay, that with the snow front. And then I didn't save myself much room for the cat's shadow, but I'm not gonna do the cat's shadow yet anyway, because we'll see where we want to put that. I might wanna put it somewhere else. And I used the on the snow front, I used one of the it's actually probably a lake, I don't know, lake or some kind of a blob piece there for that shadow. And it actually is it makes a perfect shadow for that cat, doesn't it? All right, so we have, when we left, we took our time. Here's my mask for the moon, so we can sponge that sky in. So let me stick that on there. And then because it's one that I did earlier, I am gonna have to kind of keep my hand on it. It's gonna want to tend to come up as I'm sponging. And I'm just gonna use our Misty Moonlight and one of my blending brushes. Now these, oops, I've got one that's more blue. I used this one last night probably. It feels a little damp still. I might want to use the other one. That one feels just a tad wet. Yeah, that one's nice and dry. And I could kind of tell just because of the way it looked. All right, so the thing about your sponging a sky or anything is Stampin' Up! Cardstock has a smooth, what do I want to say? It's not glossy, it's porous, but it's almost like a cornstarchy touch. You know, it's very smooth. If you feel, if you take, you know, just buy some cheap cardstock in the store and you rub your fingers on it, you're gonna feel a lot more just ridges, texture, bumpy. I don't know what other words to use for it. And that will affect sponging skies, anything that you want smooth. For water and other kinds of sponging things, that it doesn't matter if it's a little bit bumpy. You know, the cheaper stuff might be fine. Still not gonna absorb ink quite the same. So if you're having trouble with your skies being really smooth, I'm still playing with my lights, sorry. I'm trying to get it so it's not so glary. If you're having trouble with it being not smooth enough, then that could be your problem. Buy a higher grade cardstock. So what we're gonna do is get some ink on there and then always start off of the card. So you're gonna start on the side, and again, you're going really easy peasy. Okay, the tendency is to wanna go dark, dark, dark to get it done, and you're gonna wanna go in one direction. So don't go like this, because that will give you curves. Go smooth strokes, okay? Just smooth strokes. And you can come in on the other side. Now, I'm not concerned about the fact that I've got these dark edges, because those are all gonna go off anyway. And you can come in from the top as well to make it, make it smooth, make it look like it's not going in any direction particularly. If you constantly go in one direction, now see, my moon is a mask, so I can use it also to just go off of. But the trouble with that is you can sometimes get a little bit too dark of an edge on the piece that you're covering, that you're masking. So I tend not to do that. I would rather the darker part be on these outer edges, because those are almost always gonna be trimmed away anyhow. Now my mountains are gonna get a little bit of ink on them. There's, almost nothing I can do about that. Now this, some of the inks are more forgiving with sponging skies. What have you found? What inks have you found to be difficult to sponge a nice smooth surface with, ladies? Because there are some that I found that it didn't really matter how light I did the ink. It didn't matter how lightly I did my stroke. It didn't matter that I was doing my stroke in one direction. It came on not so smooth. And I can't even think of what inks they were. That's why I'm asking you, because it wasn't Pool Party, because that's one that I've used a lot for skies. It might have been, I don't think it was any of the pink or coral type ones either. And I know it wasn't any of our yellowish ones. Could have been Mango Melody. It's possible it could have been that one. Now I kind of got it dark there, kind of flubbed there, so I'm gonna try to fix that. If you get a spot like that where you went oop and you've stuck your brush down and you got a oops, then you can just try to get it even again. Just don't keep adding ink. Instead of adding ink, use what's on your brush already to try to smooth that in. Okay? All right, this is looking pretty good. It's not as dark as what I'm going for, obviously, so I'm going for a little more. But that's the idea, is you just gradually layer on your ink till you have the depth that you want. Now, as I'm trying to rush and get done, thank you for sharing, Andy, I appreciate it. I tend to want to put my index finger on there and push down to don't do that. Every time I do that, I think, why did you do that? You know not to do that. That's how you get a big glob of ink. So you do want to have the same pressure going all the way across. So holding that's why I like this handle. I have others, there are other brushes and sponges you can use that give you different texture on top too, obviously. So if you want texture on there, if you want it to look like there's any kind of a design or pattern or anything, then you're gonna want a sponge or something that has that texture. But for a sky, you just generally don't want that anyway. So these sponges are perfect, or brushes are perfect, because of the handle. It's gonna make it a lot easier to give you the kind of pressure you need all over there. Okay, and I'm gonna stop yapping and I'm gonna try to rush this along a little bit just to get us going. So I'm kind of doing what I would normally not, which is I'm putting a little more ink on than I would necessarily want to. And I am pressing a little bit more just to try to get us done here. Okay, if you want a rays, like it says a sun, and you want rays out, start in the middle of your object, go out. Okay, wherever your brush goes down is where you're gonna have, obviously, the most ink laid out there at the very beginning of your entry onto the paper that you're coloring. So, if I want my moon to be giving off some rays, then I would do this with like a different color maybe, and just give me some rays. That after the storm, that has a really nice ray stamp on it, doesn't it? What do you think about that? Have you guys used it? And I saw Frenchie, she did. Hi, Chris. It's nice to see you from North Carolina. Awesome. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. I hope you are having good weather. We're, a whole bunch of our friends, you know, all along the coastline are not having such good weather right now. I think over on the west side, it looked like in where we came from, the heat had gone from 118 down to a balmy 100 degrees. So Andy, enjoy your 100-degree weather today, this afternoon. When I got up this morning and checked it, I saw you guys were like right about the same as Springfield, which generally is. It's usually, we've had wonderful weather compared to you this summer so far, but normally when I've been tracking it on my phone before our move, it was the same. So it was 77 there where you were, and it was 77 here. The difference is that we were at 10 and 11 o'clock, and I think you were at 9. So you were getting hotter faster. Okay, so the sun or moon, actually this is a moon today, is gonna have sort of a dark ring. Sometimes when you look at the moon, it's like that anyway. So if this is not smooth enough for you, and you want it smoother, again, sometimes a sponge will give you an even smoother effect, but you have to be much more skilled with it. This does not require a whole lot of skill. If you hang on to the handle and you're applying the same kind of pressure all around, then you don't have to have a whole lot of practice to be able to do a nice smooth, oh, look at my hands, what I've done to myself here. Youch! Why? Okay, we've got some blue in our landscape. We are gonna have to put some ink on, aren't we? Because there's no getting that off, and I'm not starting this card over again. Doing that sky is too tedious. So we're gonna just have to go with what it is. So what happens when you do sponging? It's an inky mess, it just is. I'm just rubbed my nose, so now I'm probably gonna have glue all over my nose too. Hi Marty. Yeah, those brushes are great. And thank you so much for sharing. They are really good. And normally you wouldn't have ink all over your hands, but I think I was touching stuff and that's why I got ink, because the handle keeps your hands quite clean. All right, so we're gonna just go ahead, even though some of our mountain is blue and we've got blue in our landscape, we're gonna just go ahead and forge on anyway. So let's see here. I did want this sentiment down here, but now that I've got all this blue on here, you know what, I'm probably gonna end up having to trim some of that off. So we'll just see what happens. I'm gonna set it aside for now because I wanna work on the kitty cat next. All right, so this is just our basic white paper, and one is done. Let's use the one that I've done, and then we can get going on the next card. I think that'll just be a simpler thing because the next cat is the same. He's not the sitting one, but it pretty much is the same. So this way I can see, okay, here's where his shadow is going to be. So again, I'm using the snow front, and we're gonna just use this stamp right here for his shadow. It works perfectly. When we left the Tri-Cities, and we were pretty early in the morning. I think the first day we drove out was the longest drive, and it actually was the one where we had the scariest roadside thing too, because as we were ending the trip, now I'm gonna put my stamp here. Let's put our kitty cat here, and let's just see his tail. I want to have where there's a little bit coming down, okay? And he's gonna just sit like right on the top of this little blob of shadow. And I do want to cover up my blue, so let's see if that's gonna work. He's right there. Yeah, that will work pretty well. So we're gonna just stick that on there like that. I've got some blue there, but it's gonna be fine. So when we were driving, we were down, oh boy, we'd gotten down pretty far to, we were Oregon, and we went down to, through Washington, Oregon. I think it was nearing the, I'm pretty sure we were in Idaho. It was probably like the Idaho and Utah border, I suspect. It was like right around there. We were getting very close to the end of our trip. We were kind of wondering how long is it going to be to the hotel. And actually, I guess where we must have been was closer. We might have been in Utah, on the Utah-Wyoming border, because we actually stayed at a hotel in Wyoming, and it was a really cute little town. You just never know until you go through which towns are the ones to stop at, do you? Because it's just impossible to tell. Now this kitty is gonna need some dimensionals. We definitely want him to be standing up, but we'll stick him on at the end of the card rather than at the very beginning. I do need to trim it, and I need to put our sentiment on. And on the kitty one, there is this there for you always. That's good. Thanks, you're the beast. Very cute if you like puns. I'm not a pun person. You are fierce. Not a saying I'm ever gonna give to anyone. I'm just gonna tell you, fierce is not a great characteristic for humans. Might be great for tigers, but you know. So let's see. Hello. Maybe we'll just go with a simple hello. It's pretty hard to offend with a hello, so we'll do the hello. And the offense would be me. I'd be the one needing, being offended. More thanks than stars in the sky. Now, if I wanted to put some stars in there, that would be really good. Always reach for the stars. Love you to the moon and back. That's a cute one. Maybe I'll do that. Let's do that. Instead of a simple hello that could be so generic, we'll go with love you to the moon and back. That's kind of a cute one. Anyway, we were, Jeff was just, he was in the truck. We rented a big U-Haul truck. Yes, Marty, we are all moved in, but I had everything unpacked within 2 days. Jeff was cranky. We fought a little bit here and there, but I just kept reminding him, you keep going until you're done. You don't stop. And I don't expect him to do that, although it's annoying when he doesn't, but that's my thing, is that I don't rest. I can't. I don't like upheaval. I don't like mess. And so things must go on, until you are done. It's just, I'm not resting until I'm done. So, and the beautiful thing about that is I did lose probably 5 pounds, and I got it done in 2 days and survived, and our marriage survived. Everything's good. All right, I'm gonna cover up that blue. Boy, I'm not getting up as high as I wanted to because of my shadow. It's sort of in the way. Okay, well, we're gonna just do that anyway. I've got like little fingerprints in my card, like a little kid. This one's like a little kid did it. They couldn't help it. They got their inky fingers all over it. And that's the way it is. Anyway, so yeah, thank you, Marty. I'm glad you appreciated that. I am just kept going till it was done. Yeah, you know, we've got a lot of boxes in storage, so it wasn't like we were unpacking the whole house either. That did make a big difference, but it did take a while just unpacking my little supplies here at the apartment that I could use to do my stamping stuff. So I've already cut out my mat. So this is the mat that's gonna go right underneath this, and I know this one is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So we need this to be, first of all, I've gotta cut off my little, as much of my little inky fingers as I can on the bottom there. Okay, so I couldn't get them all off, but I did get a little of it off. It looks pretty childish, but that's okay. I wanted more off where this moon is, but that's not gonna happen, is it? Let's turn my board around because I can't see my measurements this way. All right, so we do want it at least 3 7/8. Oh, that's pretty good, actually. If we do 4 right there, well, let's just make sure I did it right. This is right, very good. Okay, so that's that. Okay, I don't want it to be too much. Let's go with 4 and see. That just seems, oh, this is the 4 side dingy. Okay, that's making a big difference. All right, there we go. And then this one is 5, gonna be about 5 1/4, or maybe a 5 1/8. So I'm not quite getting all of that top off that I wanted, but let's just check and see. Yep, that's enough of an edge. I don't really want too much of it showing. So that'll be good. I took a little more off the sides than I needed to, but that's actually kind of nice. I kind of like seeing more of that crumb cake on there. All right. Anyway, so we were down there and Jeff was barreling along in his filled. Oh man, that motorhome. Or you want to get it all done too. Good, Marty. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one because that's kind of how we were raised at home. I mean, we moved a fair amount, and you know, when you move a fair amount, you get it done. There's no, otherwise you're gonna have boxes forever. You know, you can do that. You can live out of boxes. I know people who do that, and they're quite happy to do it. It's not even inconvenient to them. In some ways, it probably is much easier, but I can't live that way, and so we don't. And it's a good thing we don't move too often. Jeff likes it to be tidy too. And he kept wondering, why isn't it? Why am I not able to find anything in the kitchen? Why aren't we eating? Why don't we have any food? Why haven't you gone to the grocery store? He had to have me do everything because he doesn't have his own phone. And because we're new to the area, we have to have the phone to know where to go to do absolutely everything. So he had to have me going everywhere, doing everything. And finally, I just said, look, you want the internet up now. You want dinner done now. You want all of the, everything else set up and going now. I can't do it. I cannot do everything. So then he pretty much quieted down and was fine. So I'm sure he was very annoyed, but he bit his tongue. He's gotten really good at that. Because it wouldn't have gone well, so he did. He bit his tongue. He went quietly to the side. I finished everything. He did what he could, because I was saying I told him, you could help, you know. I mean, there are times you see things to do and you choose not to do them. And he said, yeah, he admitted that. So that was that was good. That was good. So we only had that one exchange, and then we did quite well. And we finished, and we are all hunky-dory again. All right, so there we go. That is beautiful, even with my little fingerprints. And look at that cat. Isn't he cute? I'm really enjoying these kitties, and I don't like cats so much. Oh, what? The day was 118 degrees. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Andy, I know. When we saw that you had 108 or 18, even when they were predicting 118, I to myself said, nah, it's never going to actually reach that. They always make these outlandish predictions, and they don't really come true. But it did. We talked to other friends who said, yeah, once it drops to 100, it's going to feel really good. Wow. Even my uncle up in Coeur d'Alene said it was really hot. All right, so there you go. Isn't that cute? Now my card is a little funky here that I'm using because I accidentally, when I was trying to plan a project, I got it, I scored it poorly. And whoever gets this card is going to just forgive me for the fact that they've got weird creases in their card, because I'm a little limited on my stock right now here. I don't have the ability to just go grab out of just everywhere everything. I've got most things available, but I did go to get a stamp set. Oh man, just 2 days ago. I don't even remember which one it was, and I don't know where it is. I put it in storage. Oh, I was so mad when I saw, oh, you gotta be kidding me. You put that stamp set in storage? I thought you brought everything. No, you didn't. Oh my goodness, I had a terrible talk with myself. It's cute, isn't it? All right, other than the fingerprints, that one's nice. Now we're gonna go ahead and do this one. And it's very similar to this one, but this one is using the sun in Wherever You Go. So this is a great stamp set, but it has been retired for some time. If you missed it, I'm terribly sorry, because it is only one of the best suns I think we've done. I'm also using the dies out of Friend Like You, another one that retired. And when you see things like this, you don't want to miss out. This one had water, it had grass, it has this nice big sentiment, which is the one that I used here. So Friend Like You is a really great set to have, and I have no idea how much that would probably cost now, but that's the card we're gonna go for. So here's our next little sponging thing. My hands are a little yucky, but we're gonna go for it anyway. This time, hopefully the colors won't get on me too much. And it looks like I'm starting with Bumblebee? No, not usually. I usually like to start with Mango Melody, but I've been having trouble with my Mango Melody. When I re-inked it, I inked it up too much in some spots, so it's being a little bit more trouble than it usually is. Thank you, Marty. All right, so back to my truck store. Here he is, barreling down. These two semis are one right behind the other, and he was trying to get by them before the one right behind the slowest one decided to pass the slowest one, because we're coming to a hill, and of course we were pretty tired by the end of the ride that day of being behind trucks that are passing other trucks, and very slowly, you know. You know, you've been there. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Now again, just go slow. Try not to rush yourself. We're gonna have to trim this down a little bit because I don't want too much dark edge going here. But I'm gonna try to be a little careful because I don't mind having some dark on the edge, that's okay. But I don't want it a lot, so we'll try to go real slow and get nice coverage. Just even, try to keep it going one direction. Don't do the swirly thing. That's when you get your circles. You don't want circles. Well, unless you want clouds. If you want clouds, then circles are great. Or loop-de-loops or whatever you want to call that. Anyhow, so Jeff was in the midst of passing the first truck, and of course I'm staying right on his backside because he doesn't have a phone. And if he at any point just chooses to quickly leave the freeway, I need to be right behind him, leaving the freeway on exactly the same spot, because oh boy, look at that. We had already agreed that we were going to just go to the, you know, to the hotel of choice that we had our reservation at, and Jeff was gonna just find it somehow in the town that he was going to, because he didn't have a phone. So trying to avoid that, I stayed right behind him, and as he was passing that front truck, it blew a tire. Really, those big semi-tires, and I saw it leave the truck, the pieces, some of them quite large, and I just prayed, please God, don't kill us right now with this. Don't let it hit Jeff. And then as I saw it bounce, I think, off the U-Haul, and then the semi behind is swerving too, so I'm afraid the semi's they're gonna crash. And then I saw the rubber coming my way and thought, prayed, please don't let it hit my car. Oh my goodness, we all survived it just fine. God is good. It was scary, but it was only a brief scary, and then I looked in my rear view mirror and saw the wounded truck that had blown the tire was limping off onto the exit that we, you know, in the midst of it all, were passing, and it was scary. But we all went through fine, and the semi that was running right behind that had to swerve a lot and all, he was fine too, but he was the one. I thought the one that blew his tire, if he didn't manage his truck well, he would have hit Jeff and the semi behind him, and then of course I would have run into all of them. So anyhow, it worked out great. We had a great stop, and in that next little town we stopped at. Now I'm gonna have to try to smooth this out. This is not going away. This happened because I had too much ink in one spot. It got on my brush and smeared when I rubbed. There's no way that's coming off. So we've just, you know, it's done. That part is done. If I was a perfectionist, I would do this. Just start all over again, okay? But we're gonna just go ahead and use it and live with it as it is, because I don't want to start all over. You can, if you still have some pineapple punch, get that out, because, and I'm going to just stick with the same brush because I'm not too concerned about it. This will help kind of give you a little bit lighter yellow on the very bottom. It was scary, Marty. It was really scary, but again, it just, in all these things, it just makes me feel safer, really, in the long run, and more confident that God is with us and He is taking care of us and providing everything for us. So it worked out great. We had at the town that we stayed at, we were surprised that there were only two, I guess that town, it was a different one, but in Wyoming, there were like two restaurants in town. One was open, but like the DQ, there was only one fast food one. It was a Dairy Queen. They were closed. It was a Saturday, like in the middle of the afternoon, and it just said, sorry folks, we're closed. And they said it was just because they can't get anybody to come out to that town to work. Nobody in that town will work, and you know, they can't get anybody to work. Some of these small towns are having a really hard time with staffing. Nothing's open, and it hurts their tourist business. Some of these are tourist times. All right, so I'm trying to use my pineapple punch just to smooth that out a little bit. And you know, what I can do is I can take a cloud in our whirl, give it a whirl set. I'm gonna do this one next week. This is really a fun one, this give it a whirl. It has wonderful fluffy white clouds. Look at that. So I could take my little wonderful fluffy white cloud and stick it right in there, you know, if I want to cover that up. So we'll think about that as I'm going along. I also am planning to use this anyway on this card for my sentiment, so we'll see. we'll see if I get around to cutting that out, because I don't want to take a ton of time here. Jeff's doing the laundry right now, and I do want to be done when he comes back, so he doesn't have to go hang out in his room while we're hanging out here. I wanted some orange, and I don't have my little sponges. I have one, and I've washed it. That's why it's this brilliant pink, because I'm having to wash it in between all of my uses. So it's pink, but it's actually clean. I've been washing it, and I'm gonna put in just a little bit of orange here. And I could use my little sponge, but I actually am just gonna do it this way, because I'm going to go ahead and cut off these edges anyhow. All right, there we go. Just getting a little bit of orange in here in this corner. Just a little bit. Oh, maybe we'll go over the whole top. I could use a sponge maybe and make it darker and cover up my, shall we do that? Let's do it. Let's just do it. Cover up my flub a little bit with orange. Anyway, we loved what we found in Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska. We've never been to Nebraska. I don't think Jeff and I either one have been to Nebraska. We really enjoyed it there. That was fun. Stayed in a really nice place. But I think the best part of our trip, actually, was coming through Kansas City. I was afraid the traffic was going to be really heavy there, and I was going to have trouble. That's one reason Jeff was in front, because he's a better navigator than I am. So I knew if I had trouble in the city, loop-de-loops on those freeways, he would see us through, and he did. My map was telling me, I thought, to turn off the freeway in one spot, and then after we passed, and we didn't turn off because Jeff didn't have us turn off, I realized, oh, I read it wrong. I read the map wrong. I was looking at my map wrong, and that's what, or it looked like it was going off there, but that was a different, exit, and when you got that many exits. So that's why Jeff was in the lead, and it worked out quite nicely for us that he was. Okay, so now we've kind of got a little sunsetty sky, and yes, we still have these streaks, but that's okay. I'm gonna live with those streaks. And I'm gonna have to get out my cutting machine to do these. But before I do that, let's just do the tiger. Okay, I wanna show you the tiger. He's really cute, and that's really what I was going for all along. Here. He's so cute. So you have stripes for tiger and you have spots for leopard. And he's got two heads, a leopard head and a tiger head. And you could just make it, like I thought, maybe you could just make it a regular little kitty cat too. I don't know. But I want to show you how you could do, we're going to do two really quick. I want to show you how you can do his little head to be tilting up, so that he can be looking up. He doesn't always have to be looking down. So his head normally is like a tiger you would see stalking his prey or just walking casually through the jungle, but you can have his head going up too. Kind of makes him look different a little bit, so we'll see. I'm not sure that I really like having his head up. It looked a little different, but it was okay. And I kind of liked So Saffron was good. But we're gonna go with Bumblebee because my So Saffron, you have a friend in Lincoln, Marty? It's a nice town, isn't it? Have you been there to see it? It is a nice city. I really liked it. We didn't see a lot of it, but what we saw of it, we really liked. Or are you talking about Kansas City? Now, Kansas City, I know, has some wonderful gardens all around there. Oh, I forgot to do his head up. So let's turn it over and we'll do the head up. So in order to do your head differently than it's showing, you're gonna wanna just ink up his body and not his head. It's a very simple thing. You could actually use a masking technique. But since it's a photopolymer, it's pretty easy to see where to do this. So I'm just inking up his body and his little paw, making sure his paw's on there. Okay, and there is a line, but it's not gonna matter. Okay, so there's his body, sans head, and then we're gonna do the head separate, but with the same ink. Okay, so just, I can use a little bit more of the shoulder. A little bit. Actually, I don't want more of that shoulder. I really want more of the throat. Okay, because his head is gonna go up. And his little fur white patch on his chest can help you with placement. So to get his head to go up, I'm gonna need a little bit more of this throat area. So I'm gonna go ahead and ink it again, getting a little bit more of the throat area, and I'm gonna have to dab it because this is gonna be, my pad is really moist right there. I can see I've got bubbles. So I'm not sure how well that's gonna, I think I'm gonna have weird little bubbles, but we're gonna go ahead and do it anyway. Not quite got enough there, but that's okay. We're gonna go, how much do we want his head going up? We're gonna have it tipped up just a little. Okay, so there's his head, and I'm gonna need to use my pen to even this out because you can see my ink is off, and I should have probably had it going up more and all of that. So, you know, first time out, I had better luck with it, but it doesn't really matter because it is a pretty light color. So I think I'm gonna get out my So Saffron, the dark one. Let's see if we can make these lines work a little better. Nope, not gonna work. I'm gonna have to redo that one. That one's not going to work. So let me grab another piece. I do have another one. We'll try it again. Where did I put you? There you are. This time, I'm gonna go with the head first. Let's try the head first and see if I have better luck with that. All right, I don't want his leg, just his chest. Okay, so here we go. So we're gonna put the head going up like that. Oh, okay, Marty. The word "there" is the part. I'm not really sure what the "there" is. Is it Nebraska or Kansas City? All right, so now here's the body, and I'm just trying to get enough of the chest, but not the head, to get his body to, you know, work here with this. Okay. That's better. Okay, so you can just kind of work with it until you get what you need, and then use your, I would use a marker actually to do this. Do a little line with a marker to extend and then to fill in, because you need something stronger than your alcohol pen. The alcohol pen's just not doing it. Now the alcohol pen will blend those colors nicely. Let me see what else I've got. I probably have Mango Melody in here, and the dark Mango Melody with our Bumblebee will work out better to join these colors. Okay. Again, if you're using your alcohol pens, after you've colored, you kind of need to give it a rest to see how the colors look, because they look slightly different after dried. And there's a little bit of a darker patch. We'll let it dry and we'll see what it looks like, and then we'll go with it. The stripes are going to cover that anyway, so even if you do have a little overlap, but what do you think? Isn't it cute? I just kind of like to be able to turn his head up anyway. Okay, oh man. Good, bye Marty, have fun. I'm not gonna last a lot longer here either, folks. I'm gonna have to go too. We're all gonna have to go. We don't have forever. All right, so here's a stripe. We'll do him as a tiger because obviously, since I've got him going in gold, we have to do him as a tiger. All right, and so there's all his little stripes. And we need memento. All right. All of the hotels we stayed in were really nice. Now I think I'm putting the stripes so that this little indentation here is where his shoulder is. Okay, and I'm gonna have to get my head in here, sorry. But if I don't do that, then the stripes are not going to go exactly where I need them to be. Now see how it kind of covers that up nicely. And you can do a partial stamp of your stripes, you know, to add more, but I would caution you on adding more because every time I've done that, I haven't necessarily liked what I got. Okay, it's pretty easy. You just see where you want to put your stripes and you put them in, and it's not all that hard to do. Okay, and he looks pretty good, but that's just his body. Just his body. Just wait till you see his head. And the leopard head is just as good. It's awfully cute. The way they place the stripes and the eyes just makes this set really easy to use. The hardest part is determining which head is the tiger head and which one is the leopard head. All right, so I'm lining up his ears and his nose. And I am gonna have to pull it a little closer to me so that I can see what I'm doing. Sorry, I gotta get my head right in here. Once I get it lined up, I'll let you see what I'm doing. Okay, so I think I've got it lined up there. Isn't that cute? Oh, so cute. You just line up his nose and his ears. All right. And the rest of him follows. Okay, look at that. Oh, he's so cute. You can use the stripes on his head to add a little bit here and there if you want to. It kind of mimics the way the shoulder would go, maybe. You see what I mean? I'm not really going to do it. I did it a little bit here and there, and I did it on my other ones, and I really didn't like it. Just leaving the stripes the way they are, I think actually looks best. So you don't have to labor with that one too much. It's pretty cute. All right. So I don't feel like I need to take the rest of the time to assemble this card because for one thing, it involves taking my yellow embossing powder, which is retired. This is our pineapple punch, and embossing this sentiment, have a wild birthday, and that takes time to do, doesn't it? And I did use, I used the Have a Wild Birthday from this cat set to do it. Now the dies come with it, so you can just cut the cats out. And it's really easy, they're very easy to cut out. But I already told you I used the Friend Like You dies to do these cattails. And this was in Mossy Meadow, and then I embossed. And I did 2 Mossy Meadow ones because I wanted to layer some behind the cat and some in front. And then I did another one with crumb cake back there. And you can see I actually have a little bit of the sun back there behind him too, but it wasn't really necessary. Where the sentiment I chose for this one, birthday wishes to the leader of the pack. Okay, now that one came from this set, One Wild Ride. Birthday wishes to the leader of the pack. So if you are wondering where did you find that, that was it. It's another retired one. This is why you do not get rid of your retired items, people. I'm sorry. Now you see, I had to cut this one down quite a bit too. This is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So you can see my card size is quite small because I cut off all of those darker edges and then didn't have as much of that to work with. And so anyhow, I inked this up with Bumblebee ink, just inked it and then stamped that with Mossy Meadow and cut it out from the Give It a Whirl little flag die that it has. All right, so I am not going to finish that card because we did do one and I don't want to labor over the issue, but that's how I did the cat looking up on this set right there, because I had 3 of them, and did the whole, you know, leader of the pack thing. I didn't tell you all of my trip stories, but I will get more of those in as time goes on, I am sure, because oh boy, actually that was probably the most exciting thing that happened as far as danger goes. There was a time when Jeff pulled out and I again had to follow right behind him. He was going to go right on the freeway, so I didn't have the option of waiting. 2 semis were barreling down on us and I thought it was like a regular farm road we'd gotten off of because we were just checking to make sure we were going in the right direction. He wanted to make sure that our map was leading us properly. And thank you so much, Chris. And so I pulled out right behind him and we were fine. I had plenty of room, but that semi in front barrel, you know, honked at me really loud. And so when we got to the next town, Jeff said, that guy, he shouldn't have honked at you. The semi, you had plenty of space. And I just thought, well, only because my tires didn't spin on gravel, which they could have there. And I thought that truck was doing 40 and it was doing 55 or 60. And there were 2 of them. So if the one had hit me, the other one would have had a terrible time too. And so I thought, I think he was probably right in honking at me. It's fine. I didn't take offense. I'm not going to do that again. And I didn't need to. We've made it. We're fine. We're doing great. And no near accidents here, thankfully. Oh, man. Right in that U-Haul had no air conditioning. Andy, can you believe it? We were so thankful that the heat wave held off one day, you know, one more day for us so that we could get through the hot part of the West before it hit, because Jeff didn't have any air conditioning in the truck. So that was another reason we decided not to tow the car. Let me drive the nice air-conditioned car, and Jeff will drive the hot not air-conditioned truck. So it was good. It was good. It was not too hot. That was wonderful. All right, thank you so much for watching, and next week I'll be back here again, same time, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and now 3 o'clock my time, Central. And if you're like Freddie in Florida, you're going to be seeing me at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So thank you so much for watching and sharing my videos. And sometimes I do I kind of have stopped doing my draw for names, but I might do that occasionally, but I probably won't have time always to do it. My time's a little limited because Jeff's off doing the laundry. I want to be done by the time he gets back, so I've kind of got to scrunch it in. And I'm trying to think, you know, there's a whole bunch of things at Stampin' Up! You need to know. You probably already do. Paper sale, there's a new catalog coming out, join our team, all of that good stuff so that you can be part of a fun team. I do just like this, just for our team. I send out a kit, we stamp together, and it's really fun. So if you'd like to be part of a team that has the things like that you could be part of, we would love to have you. And then, of course, in August, they are going to do a big promotion where you are going to be able to get a free bundle when you join. So if you want to wait till August, that's great. If you want to join right now, you can order things before the general public does. Because the one problem with waiting until August to join is, yes, you get a free bundle, but many of us have bought a lot of that stuff already in the new catalog because we get to order it early. So when you're a demonstrator, you get to order early, which means you get it before it has already sold out, or just gone on back order and then you can't get it for a while. When you're looking for holiday things, that's really important because you have only so much time to make all of your Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas items. And if stuff's on back order, you can't get it in order to, you know, do all of that. So as a demonstrator, we get to order things a whole month early, and we also get it. We get our stuff almost always. All right, thanks a lot, and thank you so much, Andy, and I am praying that your weather cools down. It is nice here. You can come and visit us once we are all settled in our house. All right? Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.